Welcome to the R.E.A.L. podcast, where hosts Shane Kilby and Dwayne Murphy dive deep into the world of real estate agent life. From overcoming hurdles to celebrating success, join us as we explore the journeys of industry veterans and rookies alike. Get ready for bi-weekly episodes packed with advice, feedback, and mentorship from the best in the business.
Welcome to another episode of Real Estate Agent Life. I am Dwayne Murphy, and he is Shane Kilby. We have another amazing guest today. I love doing this radio voice, by the way. This is awesome.
Yeah, you have the face for radio, by the way.
I tell you what, we have an amazing guest. We got to do a little intro before this rolled, and it's just been, I've loved it. So, Shane, who do we got today?
Yeah, so we have an absolute amazing, game-changing broker, leader, thought leader, agent in the industry in Northeast Alabama, North Alabama. This is none other than Miss Hannah Nesmith. She is the broker owner of Matlock Realty Group. And she has been known for transforming from a boutique brokerage into a thriving enterprise. She has, I think you started that in what year? I didn't get that year that you started that brokerage. Yeah.
Matlock I started back in 2016.
Okay, so 2016, so almost 10 years at that brokerage, creating that vision. She has a client-centric approach with well over 12 years in the industry. Hannah emphasizes consistency and surrounding herself with knowledgeable professionals that like to drive success. And she's big on community. She has a lot of community engagement. She works beyond real estate. She's very passionate about mentoring, helping coach and develop agents. And she loves first-time home buyers. She has served on some of the board of directors in the association as well, right?
Yes, still currently a board of director. Yeah, it's a lot.
I think we've all been down that path at some point in time. You should join a committee. You should join a committee and serve.
Yeah, bless your heart.
Oh,
so Hannah, welcome to the show. We are blessed and humbled and glad that you're here.
I'm excited to be here.
Share with us a little bit of backstory. So who's Hannah Nesmith and how did you get into real estate?
Well, I got into it on accident. Isn't that how all great stories start? It was an accident? No, my ex-husband and I bought our first home and we moved to a place where there wasn't much enterprise, much work. I have a degree in pre-law, so there was really nothing for me to do. So I called my agent at the time and I said, "Hey, I know you just started your own brokerage. Could I come be a secretary?" And she told me in the rudest voice I'll never forget, "No, you'll never be a secretary for me." And I was like, well, the audacity. She said, "No, you're going to be a real estate agent." I was like, "That's cute. There's no way I can be a real estate agent." And so she said, "If you'll do exactly what I tell you to do, not only will you be a great agent, but I'll make you number one." And I was like, that's pretty bold. I thought that was a very bold statement. But she said, "You promised to do exactly what I tell you." I was like, "I'll do it. I'll jump to the moon if it'll make me money." I'll go. And so I did. I spent the year doing exactly as I was told, and I went to be one of the top 100 agents in the whole state, which was very hard to do because remember, it was an area where there wasn't much. So people buying and selling, you became very creative.
So in that, when you say there wasn't much, what was the agent count population?
In the small town we lived in, there was probably about 4,000 people. It was coal mining town. It was right during the time where they were shutting down the mines. And so people were leaving or getting foreclosed on. It was right after the 2008 housing crisis. We didn't feel that because of the coal mines until I got my real estate license. So I kind of got to walk through that afterwards, which was really cool. And I like to say it probably made me a better agent, honestly.
Now, for listeners, when you hear an agent say that I came in as the market crumbled, and it was pretty cool. I absolutely, kind of enjoyed it. Right there, you need to lock in, sit down, focus on this episode because she's going to bring some gold. So let me ask you this. I actually started in 2006, and so this thing called a market crash, we didn't really know because we were trying to build a business.
That's right.
But you've had some hurdles in there, but you've also had some milestones and some mile markers, and you continue to make big waves and accomplish great things. what would you say your greatest success in business has been thus far?
This is not going to be the typical accolade that everybody wants to hear. My greatest success is being able to be available for my family. That is my greatest success. A lot of times people live for the job, and I live for me. I live for the kids, and my job allows me to do that. So that's going to be my biggest success, is I can be a mom.
I love it.
And super successful.
So, but wait, you're successful.
Yes.
The two
They
the
can
two
exist.
can go hand in hand.
Absolutely, as they should exist, in my opinion.
Very, very good. And that's one of the many reasons that we had the vision for this type of podcast, is for those, it could be buyers, sellers, but a lot of individuals out there that have thought about getting into the business, or that are in the business, successful or struggling, or anywhere in between, is like that, in this business is what, 9%, 85, 90% female, right?
Yeah.
All of the females around my organization will tell you, like, I think that ladies are superheroes. I just like, children, spouses.
I'm not saying this because I am a woman, but I've seen it from a leadership standpoint. You want something done, give it to a busy mom. I mean, I've seen it over and over, and I'm not saying that because I am a busy mom. I'm just saying it's true. Women are multitaskers. They are very good at it.
Yeah, because you're not multitaskers. You're miracle workers. you literally are miracle workers. Like, there's food, there's shelter that's a home, right? Because hands down, you guys.
I'd live in a tent and I'd be happy with it. But
so would my husband. Very happy in a tent.
Yeah.
Right. But that doesn't work for everybody else. So it's like, right. So there's one person that changes that. It makes it right into an actual home and not a tent.
Exactly.
And the ability, like, to juggle all the things. So my business partner Courtney, when we started down that path, that was at the forefront of her thought process.
Yeah.
When we made this partnership that's been perfect, is that her number one priority was to be a mom and a spouse and a wife, and then business and real estate, everything second.
Kudos to you guys. I know I say that every time you guys message me, but you guys are doing it right, and you should be very proud of what you're building. Very proud.
Well, it's like, we shared, John Cheplak's information. He gets free tags in here all the time. It's amazing. But he says it, and I know that he was taught that too. None is better than perfect.
Yes.
Like Courtney is so much more perfect than me. I'll take the done over perfect way farther than what she will, because when it comes to content creation, she's like, nope, take 37. I'm like, I'm not taking 2. Let's roll with it. But I watched her. This is how amazing she is. And you're the same, because just that mom mentality, like, she's got twin girls, and I don't care where we would be in a meeting in South Birmingham or CEs or whatever, and whatever the perfect time for her to leave the other side of the world to pick her children up at 2 p.m. on the dot at school, like, I'd be like, yeah, and then
he's out.
Like, where'd Courtney go? She's like, I'm headed to get my girls at school, right? And so it just and those are just many things outside of business. In business, like, the organizational skills, the empathy, the compassion, that's, she and I, we work a lot in that yin yang, because it's kind of like the mom, dad type deal. And I've never seen someone with the patience like that a woman has, or most have, that are successful in this business. And Dwayne, her like a sister as well. Like, but then, and you're probably the same, Hannah, like, but when you cross that line, I'm just going to be quiet.
I had the fortunate ability to stay in an Airbnb with both of them a couple of weeks ago. And you talk about yin and yang together, but yet still yin and yang personalities. Like, but it works. It's right. It's like everything. Let's see. Looking at the business, looking at Matlock Realty, looking at all of your experience over all the years from right at the time where you made the market crash in your hometown market and brought in the Great Recession, and then to where you are today. What would you pinpoint as like maybe your biggest success in business?
Probably I'm most proud of the fact that I started a company moving from a different state. I had a couple mentors, but no one who really gave me the Alabama way of doing it. So I had to read the laws. I had to read the rules. I had to get to know the commission very, very well. And so I think that's probably my biggest accomplishment that I'm proud of, is that I came from a completely different state where we were disclosure to non-disclosure, buyer beware. And I came in to a small town where probably wasn't expected to make it, and I keep showing up. So that's probably my biggest accomplishment that I am personally proud of.
Keep showing up.
Yeah.
That was gold. Now I'm making a mental note and jotting that down. Dwayne, how many times how many rooms of big players, how many spaces are we in where it's like, keep showing up, keep showing up?
I tell my agents, you don't have to be the smartest, but you do have to be the hardest worker one. So keep showing up, because those agents, those people, entrepreneurs, whatever business, are going to be the winners.
Yeah.
without doubt. I'm glad you mentioned that, because, we work with, all of us on this call work with a lot of new agents. We work with individuals who are transitioning from other careers into real estate. We work with agents that are super successful at high levels, but the vulnerability that it takes, and we talked about this before we ever started recording. You always want to be sure to get in a room where you're uncomfortable,
yes.
Right? Get in those uncomfortable spaces.
Yes.
For new agents, like, if you guys or gals listen to this, like, listen to what she said. She said, keep showing up, keep staying uncomfortable, keep putting yourself in those rooms where you feel like everyone in the room is smarter than you.
Yes.
Right. Don't, and then when you feel like you're the smartest one in the room, level up to another room. Right.
Might be time to move. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And we've heard this ourselves, Dwayne, like, oftentimes us as leaders, we may lose, and lose is not a great word, and I've kind of matured through that, but we've parted ways, or agents have moved to other organizations or whatever. But as leaders, sometimes we have to ask ourselves, did they outgrow our leadership? Did we raise our lid, as John Maxwell would recall, as he would refer to our lid of leadership? Did we hold ourselves to the wrong standard, right? Or did those people just move to a different season, right? We've heard this before too, like, people are in their lives for a reason, a season, or a lifetime.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
That's it. And my wife is in lending, and sometimes she gets frustrated. I'm like, babe, we're all on a bus.
I can't imagine.
We're going down the highway, and they've gotten to their bus stop. They've enjoyed the ride. You've enjoyed the ride with them. Help them get their bags. Help them get on to the next bus, right? It's life, right? Just because you're going to this destination doesn't mean that they see that destination and they want that to be their destination too.
Exactly.
The household of a mortgage, at one point in time, you wanted to be in real estate. I'm like, nah, just don't do that.
My husband's tried to talk me into letting him too, and I'm like,
it works
about me.
It works for us. It works for us better from her being in the lending role, because we've always been lead gen focused.
Right.
And lead gen and actually prospecting is something that most of the industry is not real familiar with.
I would
shockingly.
agree.
So we would chew up a lot of lenders because they would like throw some money. I'm like, I don't want your money. I don't need your money. I need your blood, sweat, tears in here to convert these leads. Well, I don't, we don't do that. So that's how that might work.
Absolutely.
But it works out great, because she, why she was, she's passionate about lending. The same reason that you are passionate about success in real estate, and Courtney too, because she can be a mom. She misses nothing. She had honor roll, AB honor roll all year long. I'm so proud of my wife. She was 4th grade honor roll all year long, her and my 10-year-old daughter. They share that award. But
that's hilarious.
So let me ask you this. With success comes the inevitable. It comes failure, right? And oftentimes in
failure, lessons.
Yeah, lessons.
Yes.
Yeah, we win or we learn.
Yes.
We win or we learn. And oftentimes in passing conversations, maybe it's not the right time or place, but typically professionals, and I say typically lightly, professionals don't like to talk about the struggle, the strife, the hardships, the gaps in the middle, those lessons that Dwayne mentioned that we learned. What would you say your biggest failure or lesson you've had to go through in this profession, in this industry thus far?
There was a recent event in my professional life that it taught me that my biggest failure, my biggest mistake, which was, it's funny because you would think it was the issue that I'm describing, but it wasn't. It was the doubting my abilities before, me thinking I wasn't able or equipped. And then once I sat in a room with others that showed me I was, it told me I made a mistake. I made a huge mistake by doubting my own ability, not trusting myself. I have a different look at mistakes. I feel like I've made a lot of mistakes. I've made the wrong moves. I've lost money. I've done all sorts of
You
things.
just paid
I've
for a
lost,
higher education. You
right?
just invested
Yeah.
in a higher education.
And that's what I look at it as, because how lucky are we, all of us, that we get the opportunity to make a mistake. There's a lot of people who go to work 8 to 5, they come home, and their jobs are vitally important, but ours are creative, ours are thoughtful, ours are empathic to other people. How many people don't get to do that? I am very, very blessed. Not only did I get to have a lesson, but I got to come out from my lesson with a greater wealth than I ever would have without it, which was knowledge.
Well, and here's the other thing that comes from those experiences, right?
Mm-hmm.
And comes from those decisions, whether it was the right decision, the wrong decision, whatever, right? A, you had the courage to make the decision to begin with. B,
yes,
you had even more courage to then make another one, right? Even if the first one wasn't maybe the correct one, or maybe wasn't what you thought it was. The other thing from all of that, right, is here's the other piece of it. At the end of the day, you're not going to die with any regrets, right? I mean, and when I say that, right, it's the regret of the decision that you didn't make, or the regret of should I have done this? Should I have done that? Well, guess what? You already went down those paths. You went down the path of, should I have done this? Guess what? You did.
I did it.
And you realized, no, that wasn't it. Right. And that's a phenomenal trait. That's an amazing trait, right? That you can go at the end of the day and go, you know what? I don't have to sit here and wonder what if, or should I have? Nope. Did it, done it, made a decision. It worked. It didn't work. Making another decision.
But dang it,
you're already doing
sometimes.
You're doing more than 90% of the rest of the world already just by making those decisions, going down a path and then going, hey, you know what? Here's a fork. I'm gonna pick one, right? Rather than just standing and not pick anything. And kudos to you.
And I think too, it's important for our teams to see us make those hard decisions, and also say, hey, hold up, this direction isn't the direction I thought we should go. Follow me this way. I think especially I've had a lot of team members watching how I react to certain things that have come out and coming out even against me. There's a part of me, there's always that piece of you that wants to be reactive. And then you realize, well, maybe reactive isn't quite the right thing to do, be more receptive. So it's also a blessing to let my team see what it's like to walk through this, and that it's okay. You can walk with me. You can do this too.
Yeah, it's Dwayne, we probably had this conversation and fireside chat more times than I can count, but it's every time you really seek and desire to go to that next level, you're always going to cross paths with that next level devil, right? That devil that's in your path for that next level. And this is just not a biblical statement or religious statement, but I do believe in a higher power. And I just believe wholeheartedly that there are obstacles placed in our paths when we seek this next level of success. We and everyone else in the world have talked the talk before and not backed it up. I believe that there are obstacles placed in our path to protect us or to prepare us for that next level. If we bump our head and we're like, man, that hurt. That bloodied me up. I think I'm going to back up and just sit tight for a while. That's that seatbelt effect. That's that airbag, right? Airbag going to protect me. Yeah, but you have a bloody face. Right, it's going to hurt. And then it's that you come out, bumps, bruises, scratches, airbag, seatbelt burns, and I made it to that next level. Now I got a story to tell.
Exactly.
Your people, your tribe, your group, your organization, and even those. And here's the beautiful thing about it: not only your internal people watching, girl, you got folks on the outside looking, going, I'm holding up. She don't know I want to be in her space, but let me see how she navigates this.
It's been very, very fascinating. I'm not gonna lie. I've seen the good and the bad, and I'm here for it. I can't wait to see what happens next.
Yeah, and kudos to removing some of that self-doubt. We all face it from time to time, right? And I face it in my growth and with my businesses and organizations that I run, right? And sometimes you have that, that little bit of like, okay,
Am I
like,
good
shoot,
enough? Yes.
right? Yeah, right.
Yes.
And you have a little bit of that self-doubt, and I think anybody who doesn't have that, I think, is lying, right, to a certain degree. And so you get some of that, and for you to be able to get into a position where you could remove some of that and go, you know what? No, I am, right? It's the I am enough, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is a powerful mantra and statement, and even more so when you can look in the mirror and believe it.
Yep, absolutely. And like I said before, I'm truly grateful for that lesson because it showed me what could happen if I didn't have faith in myself.
Yeah, and it's a running joke around, especially leadership roles in this industry. I know broker owner roles for sure. It's like, and everywhere you go to those small rooms with the big players, like it seems to be the opening question is, who in here today has thought about today or this week about just burning it to the ground and going to work at Home Depot or Lowe's next week? Not that that's a bad job. My daughter works, she loves it, but burning the business to the ground and starting over when the sun comes up. And like everybody's like,
yeah,
I thought it was just me.
I mean, man, McDonald's is paying like $24 an hour right now. And I'm like, wait, that'd be a pay increase. Like, this might be all right.
This might be okay.
Yeah. And Buc-ee's like, I'd probably take a pay cut at Buc-ee's. I love that place. I'm inspired by the marketing. Yes.
They really do have some ingenious marketing. Their marketing department is on point.
Listen, my people think like this the funniest thing. They're completely mesmerized at the way my eyes light up in there. I'm like, you have to take the way I see things. I started back 5 miles up the interstate, and I don't see any fuel label brand. I don't see any fuel price. Right. I get to the pump and it's 50 cents to $1 cheaper than anywhere else. Okay. That tells me something, right? Then I go inside and every square inch of that place has a beaver on it. Wow.
And people pay for it. People pay to wear a beaver.
Since we're going down this rabbit hole,
it's beautiful.
I never knew what the hell a Buc-ee's was, and and my good friend here,
pet beaver. I guarantee you, they had a pet beaver named Bucky, and now it's a franchise that you can wear as a T-shirt and some socks.
I've got the story.
They make $1 billion a year.
Exactly.
Yeah, I got my first introduction to a Buc-ee's when I went down to Alabama and visited Shane, and he had introduced me because we don't have them in Wisconsin.
There's more to Alabama than Buc-ee's. But Buc-ee's
I don't know, not according to Shane, but
not much.
We don't have one in Wisconsin. It finally just got approved for, I don't know, I think they're putting in like 275 gas pumps.
Yeah, that sounds right.
And it finally got approved, and I think Wisconsin's going to have their first one sometime in 2026. But it's pretty cool.
Dwayne's passion and the only food that he likes to eat is barbecue. So when they're in there screaming, what is it they scream? Fresh.
Is it fresh meat or fresh? No.
Fresh brisket. Fresh brisket on the board. Yes, fresh brisket on the board. That's it. Corey says something else, and my daughter, and it's completely hysterical because it's not anything remotely close to what they're saying. But they, I was always intrigued with them because they don't sell on cheap.
No.
Do you guys sell on cheap? Do you make a living off discount commissions, discount brokerages? Right? They don't promote cheap, but they have the best priced fuel. When you get inside, it's another ball game. But when you look at the family story, they have a really good story. They're a small family based out of Texas that built that organization. And the Bucky, which doesn't make sense with the beaver, is actually one of the family members. That was their nickname. So that's where that came from. Ask me how I know.
You do love Bucky.
Trying to get a sponsorship.
I'm a Bucky historian.
I know what he's getting for Christmas.
You laugh, but my children look for those shirts now because I buy them for everybody for Christmas. Because they're seasonal. They have this.
Man, they're seasonal.
Easter, Valentine, 4th of July, like the list goes on and on.
That's epic.
But I'm a sucker for anything marketing anyway.
I am too. It's a problem.
Yes, it's
I fuss at bad marketing
for me.
I won't wear it if it's bad marketing.
That's a fact. That's a fact. What's the
Drives
message?
my husband
What's the
crazy.
meaning? So let me ask you this, Hannah. So we all have role models, influential people in our lives, or situations. Sometimes it's a relative, family member. Sometimes it's, a motivational speaker, someone, entertainer, athlete, whatever the case may be. In your life up until this point, who would you say is the greatest influence in your life and business up until this point in time?
Well, I'd be amiss if I didn't say my parents. They fundamentally gave me the work ethic, the wanting to do what was right, even when it didn't feel right. But in business, I do have a role model who she has always been kind of my female version of who I would like to see myself in 20 years, 30 years. She is someone, when you meet her, she is not someone you would expect to own thousands of properties. She is down to earth, savvy. In fact, there's been a couple times where her and I'll go back and forth negotiating on a property because I always represent her. And I'll say, I think you should take it. And she'll say, no, baby, I don't think so. And I never argue with her because she's always right. I'm like, yes, ma'am. I was wrong. And she's always right. I've seen her do it 100 times. And I'm always thinking, I don't think she's right this time, but she is every time. She is incredibly savvy. She lets you know her value set very, very quickly. And she does not put up with a lot of things. But she does it with the most grace. And I think the world of her, and professionally speaking, there is not a woman like her. Because a lot of times, awesome. Us women, we give up some of our best traits to try to fit in with you guys. And it's terrible that we do that.
We apologize.
No, it's not your fault. We do it. It ain't y'all.
No, we let you down. You should not be trying to get in our space.
But as women, we do that. And she's one of the first women I've ever met who unapologetically said, I'm a woman, I'm a mother, and I'm here to get things done. And I have always been in awe of her ability to do so with such grace and kindness, but yet firmness. It's impressive. But she'd kill me if I said her name. So
I was gonna like, who is it? But
she is someone everyone should know. But if I ever run into a problem, I could go sit at her feet and she'd give me the answers. She's pretty awesome.
Yeah,
everyone needs one of those.
Those are good people. Those are good people. I think we all, if we don't have one or two of those people in our lives, we need to find those people in our lives.
Let me tell you, one time, this is just her, and I told my assistant at the time what the story was, and she said, "You took that?" I said, "From her, yes, I did." I don't take much from many people, but from her, she gets to say what she wants to say. Because she's earned that. But she told me one time she saw a billboard of me and she said, "Baby, you have too much makeup on in that photo." Yes, ma'am.
We got to leave you that billboard.
Fixed. I said, "Yes, ma'am."
That sounds like, is it my grandmother? Is my grandmother giving it? Because like, girl, you putting on some weight, girl. I've heard them like.
But the way she said it was not you look terrible. It was you want to be professional. I know your goals. I want to help you get there. So I'm going to tell you a hard truth that you may not want to hear. And I want to hear it because she's always right. So why would I not want to hear whatever she has to say? But my assistant thought that was hilarious because there was no one else that would have told Hannah.
Well, the greatest thing is with people like that, right? When you have those people in your corner that have influence, they're not saying it to be mean or spiteful, right?
No.
They're saying it from a point of love, and care, and they're just right. You need to hear it, like you said, you needed to hear it, and she just said it, right, and just point blank, didn't think twice about it, just like, hey, you don't have to be that because this is who you are.
Whenever someone has something negative to say to you, I always look at what is their why? Is it, if their why is because they care about you, okay, let me hear it. If their why is to make a dig at me or to make themselves feel bigger, you can keep that at home. So her why has always been for my betterment. So I listen.
That's one of those nugget.
Yes.
Buttons. We need that bomb button, Dwayne. We need the something. That's
We're not giving you a Bradley bomb button.
There
like
you go.
Every once in a while, he figures out with a hand motion how to make balloons happen.
Yeah, how did I do that?
Yeah,
I think I did it. Was this?
Yeah.
There it is. Oh, I got hearts. Look at that.
It only works on his because it doesn't recognize. So he only has it enabled on one side.
That's so sad. We don't have that.
Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. I didn't even know it do hearts. Last week it was
if we enable too many buttons on his side, then we chase squirrels like this.
Leave it at the hearts.
Yeah, leave it at the hearts.
The statement on the why, like, I just want to hit that again, because if you are coming into this business, or you've been in this business for a short period of time or a long period of time, or you're new into the business, rewind and listen to that statement she made again. When someone's trying to pour into you purpose and passion, and really trying to help you grow and develop, you might not always like what they have to say, but you need to listen to what they have to say. And you don't need to react or respond. You need to process it
Absolutely.
and learn and grow from it. And it always consider the source. And I would never take input or advice from someone I wouldn't swap places with at the drop of a hat. But if it's someone you deeply respect, then take that advice and criticism, because it's hard to get. You guys will know this. Like, we ask for it. Hannah, and we all have folks that will give it to us, thank goodness. But when you don't get that, it's like, I heard it on another podcast, or maybe a Zoom call. It was the Dustin Runyon stuff, Dwayne. And he said emotional maturity, and this hit me just like a ton of bricks. Emotional maturity is when you hunt and seek that feedback,
Yes.
that criticism. And it's emotional immaturity when you run from it, or you're combative, or you're defensive when someone has feedback for you.
I actually use this as a technique in my team to tell me where they are maturity wise in their growth as an agent. If I correct them and they run with it and they don't have a negative feedback, they know it's coming from care and I want them to do it well, I know they're going to be ready to take that next step of their business. Whenever they push back and they want to argue, it's like, okay, we're not quite there yet. So then it's a different kind of growth. So I think that that's something, even as an agent or a leader, that would be something important to kind of carry into your business, not just personally, you know?
Absolutely. So Hannah, if you were looking back at the 2008 version, or even beyond, or anyone coming into the business or considering coming into the business, what's a piece of advice that you wish the younger version, the newer version of Hannah when she started, what would that piece of advice or input be?
I've thought about this one a lot. I was very blessed with my mentor who said, do what I tell you to do. And I was willing to listen and did it. So I would do that again. I mean, I think that I did the right thing. I think I would not have second guessed myself as much as I have over the past decade, but that comes with learning. For new agents coming into the business, or if you've already been in the business and maybe you're feeling stale, I would make sure you're aligning yourself with a broker who's going to pour into you and going to be honest and have those hard conversations. And I would also make sure I would find someone doing better than me. And instead of sitting around talking about them, I would call them and say, can I help you for a week? Can I help you for a month for free? Can I come and follow you around and watch what you do so I can learn a piece of it? And if that person's a leader in any sense of the word, or they care about their business, they're going to say, absolutely, it's free help. Please come. And then do every single thing they say, and your business will change. It will.
That is absolutely perfect. Was it Steve that told us that same storyline?
Yeah, Steve Mernon.
Steve Mernon, a good friend of ours and a mentor, a
legend in the industry,
legend with major companies in this industry. He started out in real estate 40 something years ago, and he had that same conversation with the broker and leader in that organization. And it was like, I just want to shadow you. I'll do whatever, and the guy told him,
carry your bag, whatever I can do.
Humble and hungry in the utmost fashion. And the guy told him the same thing. He said, if you do exactly what I tell you to do.
Yes.
And man, it was brutal. You remember that, like, if you come in early every day and you work late every day and you come in on Saturdays and Sundays and you do exactly what I do, you're going to outproduce everybody in the market. Mm-hmm. And he did. Absolutely. It's amazing how those stories connect, and these people don't even know one another. So there has to be truth in that.
It's very interesting to watch too, especially new agents, even agents who are in my brokerage. I love watching them, and I like watching them. You can always tell who's following who. They don't know this, but you can tell.
Oh yeah.
And so I love watching it, and I'll figure out who they've attached to, and the other agent, they don't even know they've been attached to. And I'm like, go help that agent. They love you. They need it.
Yeah. Well, it's the chemistry. Connect with that chemistry.
I mean, we pay for education in college. We pay to take the test. Why not pay by giving it some time and actually build you a business? Like that's, I mean, you're paying everybody else. Pay yourself. Invest in yourself. I can't scream that enough. And that's for anything you do in life. Anything. Invest in
Always.
yourself.
I'm always amazed that there's agents in this business who will only take free CE the last 30 days. And then there are agents who are like, oh, I could so much teach that CE. I had 400 hours of continuing education in growth and development in the first 6 months after I renewed my license. But it's interesting. They don't want to pay for it. They don't want to
No,
pay for it. It's amazing. It's amazing.
no,
That's
I,
okay.
I know, and I try to push out CEs, because there's some really great CEs that are interesting, not just the standard 3 hour, but there's some really good CEs, especially as our market changes. If I was an agent, I am an agent, you're going to see me looking into those different CEs that teach strategy on market adaptions. Like there's just so many, the laws, all that kind of stuff. Do your CEs, don't do it for free.
Yeah, I was always
Invest in yourself or use your brokerage.
Yeah,
You get what you pay
I was
for.
always made fun of because I was always the one that's like, oh, okay, well, we only, back in the day, we only needed like
Mhm.
7 CEs, but there was like 14 available. Like I pay and get all 14, and they'd be like, well, you only need to do 7. I'm like, yeah, but there's always something
Right.
there to learn, right? There's a nugget of knowledge somewhere that could help me in a situation, a scenario, right, or possibly propel my business forward. It's like, just do all of them. It's like,
It is hard, especially as owners, brokers, and agents to do all those things. So I try to
Mhm.
go to the classes to surround myself with other agents, because sometimes, let's face it, we can get our own little corner, but I'm really bad about waiting till the end. Luckily, I do enough during the year that it's not bad, but I'm usually like you and I buy the whole course and take it all at the end, even though I have
Yeah.
half of them, because it's like,
Well, I think a part of that is just, and I I'm an instructor and I have CEs every year because every other year CE, for instructor, every other year is
yes,
for agent. And I do not mean this in a negative light towards any instructor, anyone who's written CEs for our industry. We appreciate you. We couldn't do it without
hmm
you. But I get the least amount of value from those, and that's just me personally because I'm focused on higher level, more
yes,
challenging leadership type CEs that are thousands of dollars of investment. That's not an ego statement because that's over time. I've had to question myself and have these conversations, but I also observe who are in those rooms and go, okay, this isn't their first piece of success. This isn't their first rodeo. There's a
yes.
reason they keep going to a more higher investment room. Even at
Mhm.
this point in life, I still want to say expensive, more
You can
price tag
see
bigger, so
that you're investing in yourself and you're putting yourself in
absolutely.
a place you wouldn't be sitting in. So I think it's a wise investment.
Hannah,
I think so.
let's wrap up with this. I'm gonna throw you a little off the script question. Wave a magic wand and see a little bit into the future. Where do you see Matlock Realty Group?
Well, that's easy. Through my recent changes, I've learned that I am not a numbers girl. I am a quality girl. You're going to see a boutique brokerage in the truest form who gives custom services to their customized needs of their clients. I've really been a big, strong proponent of being an agent with agency. I am going to continue offering that and teaching consumers the difference between what an agent should be doing and what an agent is doing, and we're worth the difference. That's where it'll be.
Awesome.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, that wasn't on the script. It wasn't on the questions that she had before schedule, and she absolutely
That
that
was
was
a lot
still
of
traveling.
thinking.
I threw a fastball right down the pipe, and you just hit her out of the park.
She's in the grandstands.
And yeah, and I appreciate that because I mean, again, it's a true belief in what it is that you're doing,
Yes.
and from the heart, and just right, just an honest to God truth and belief in what it is that you're doing, what you're building, and what you're growing, and I tell you what, we can't wait to watch, a little bit from the sidelines and from the
Thank you.
outfield and watch what it is that you're doing on the field because
Hopefully it
that's
won't be too
phenomenal.
interesting.
And
Yeah,
for those that are listening or watching this episode, like this is leaders pouring into leaders. This is leaders pouring into others.
Absolutely.
I'll honestly say that's what we see every episode is leaders pouring into others. We've all made mistakes. None of us are perfect. Done is better than perfect. And the same goes for you, Hannah. Like, if we can help you with anything, this is, 3 different brokerages pouring into, or 2 outside brokerages pouring into your success. Anything we can help you with. Hannah, definitely going to be some folks that are going to want to connect with you after this episode airs. And how would they do that? What's the best means possible to connect with Hannah?
They can go to my website and schedule an appointment there. That's Hannah M. Nesmith, NESMITH.com. And then my phone number is 276-639-1142. And my email is hannahmatlock@gmail.com.
Folks, you heard it here. We're going to include those locations to find her in the show notes as well. If you missed that, we will include those in the show notes in the transcription. Mr. Dwayne, you want to take us out?
I always love this part. I love the entire context of the podcast, but I was at the end here, I was getting a chance to say, don't forget to smash that subscribe button, right? If you like what you're hearing, share it with a friend, maybe somebody in the industry that, finds some value in what we bring and the guests that we bring to our podcast. It's a labor of love for sure. We get to meet amazing people just like Hannah and from all over the U.S. So don't forget to give us 5-star if you love what you hear. It helps us move up in that little Google rhythm.
Algorithm.
So on the charts, right? That little Google rhythm. That's what we're going to call it today. And I tell you what, from everybody here at Real Estate Agent Life, thanks for tuning in to another episode. We'll be back soon.
Peace.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the R.E.A.L. podcast. Don't forget to connect with us on YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok for more exclusive content. Keep striving for success, and we'll see you in the next episode.